Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Drago, and welcome to my channel. Just first, I want to take a minute to thank all you guys who subscribe and keep watching my videos. I know I haven't put anything new out in quite some time, and I will make up for that when Dark Souls 2 comes out. We'll be going strong on that. Currently at the moment I just haven't had any games that I was really interested in. I've played a little bit of Last of Us, and I've been playing some Call of Duty Ghosts, but I'm not going to be making any videos in regards to them. I'm just going to beat Last of Us, and they'll probably last me till Dark Souls 2 comes out. Currently I'm playing roughly about 3-4 hours, maybe a week, if that, so really not much to report on that front. Been really busy with work and family. So also want to welcome the new subscribers to my channel. Thanks to all new guys that subscribed. In this video I'm going to share some information that have recently come to light about Dark Souls 2. As some of you know, the media embargo has been lifted this week, and there was a big media event early on where a few members of the media, along with some community names such as Epic Namebro and Orbo, were allowed to play the first 50 minutes of the game, and currently we got a whole lot of new info on the recent build of the game. The reason why I want to make this video is because it seems like a lot has been changed from the beta or the network test build of the game to the current build of the game, which is what a lot of the people got to play. So without any further ado, just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the story and the gameplay changes first. There will be some spoilers along the way, but I would say to everybody who's played Demon Souls and Dark Souls, or Demon Souls or Dark Souls on their own, probably not going to be anything new. So the game starts out with the character jumping in the whirlpool. You'll see some, basically the opening is pretty much sort of what you've seen in the Curse trailer. And by the way, I got some gameplay in the background here. This is from the network test, when nobody's allowed to post any media event footage. So this is just some of the, the dueling and the single player gameplay from the network test back in October. As far as Dark Souls 2, after the cutscene, your character jumps in a whirlpool, and which leads to the world of Drangleic. After that, there will be a screen where your character will meet these three ladies, and they will explain a little bit of a backstory about the game, and that will lead to the character customization screen. Now, the character creation screen, it supposedly is the most detailed yet in the Souls games. Customization will be a lot better than Dark Souls, and it will be better than Demon Souls. There will now be an option to have a legitimate beard for your character. So if you wanted to, you've been waiting, a few games now to create that Viking or Barbarian warrior, you now get your chance. There's also an option to give your character tattoos. So if you want to create a Mike Tyson or Lee Priest build, now is your chance. The starting classes for this game have changed quite a bit. There will be an Explorer, Gadgeteer classes, which are new to this game. There will also be Bandit, Knight, Swordsman, Deprived, and I believe there will be a Cleric / Temple Knight class, but I'm not 100% sure on that. As you can tell, the Wanderer class has been replaced with the Swordsman class as well, and there will be no Pyromancer class. So that one is gone because pyromancy has been mixed with magic in this game. As far as starting gifts, once you create a class, there will be starting gifts option. Black Firebomb and Human Effigy are some of the options. Human Effigy is basically the humanity in Dark Souls 2. There will also be a pendant equivalent, Tiny Beans ring equivalent, and there will also be an item, and I'm not sure about the name of it quite yet, but there will be an item that supposedly will make the game harder. So it's kind of like a self-grave loading item. I'm not sure how it will work, whether or not, maybe it will spawn black phantoms, or maybe it will just increase the difficulty of the game to, let's say, from new game to new game plus 1 or new game plus 2 difficulty. That remains to be seen. Not sure about the details on that quite yet. So some of the classes look very intriguing. For example, Explorer starts out with more items than your regular classes at an expense of some stat points. It also has some cool items like Monocle and Parrot, and apparently the headgear of the Explorer class also boosts item discovery, so seems very interesting. Once you've selected the class, there will be an optional tutorial, and once you complete that, or if you choose to bypass that, you will arrive in Majula, which is the Dark Souls 2 equivalent of Nexus or the Firelink Shrine. Upon arriving to Majula, you will be greeted by the Emerald Maiden, which is this game's equivalent of Maiden in Black. She will give you 1 Estus Flask. That's right, you will start the game with only 1 Estus Flask, and she will also level you up. So if you want to level up, you will have to come back to the starting hub and talk to the Emerald Maiden. There will also be a new Crow NPC. I believe it's Silky the Crow. Just like in previous games, you will be exchanging items with it. As far as the bonfires go in this game, they will function as checkpoints in this game. You can rest and light bonfires during the multiplayer events such as invasions or co-op sessions. You won't be able to level up, however. You will have an option to burn items to either lower the invasion rates. I believe if you burn the Human Effigy, that will lower the invasion rates in this game, or you can also burn a certain item to make the game harder. So I don't know if that's the same item that's a starting gift or if that's a different item. And there will also be an option to fast travel between bonfires as you discover them, which is a big plus in my book. So for example, if we would compare that to Dark Souls, if you went from Firelink Shrine to the Undead Parish bonfire, you will need to backtrack all the way through the parish. You will just be able to fast travel. Now, as far as some of the changes to the gameplay itself, the jump button, as some of you know who played the beta, is now L3. There are also a bunch of new gestures, and there's also an option to cancel gestures. So now if you're taunting somebody and they're going for a backstab, you can cancel and try to counter backstab, or you can use it. You can basically use it as a tactic, or if you're being attacked when you're trying to bow to somebody, you can cancel out of that and defend yourself. So also, it seems like headshots from crossbow or bow will stun the enemy, and you will be able to perform a riposte, which is good news for everybody who's enjoyed playing around with a bow in Dark Souls and Demon Souls. We can also consume and offer multiple items at once, which is a huge improvement in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but I still have nightmares about having to sit down and press square a bunch of times as I'm trying to level up my character and consuming 99 soul of hero, soul of great hero, and so on and so forth. Now you don't need to grab your controller with you as you're eating, sleeping, pooping, or watching reruns of Golden Girls, just to level your character up, which takes about half an hour to just press square, couple hundred times, or to offer Covenant items, which is a big plus. Now you can just select how many items you want to offer or consume, which is a huge plus, big improvement in my opinion. Now there will be also 10 item slots, just like there was in the beta. You will be able to wield 3 weapons in each hand, whether it be swords, shields, bows, talismans, catalysts, so on and so forth. There will be 4 ring slots, and the reason why there are now 4 ring slots is because there's a ring that helps with co-op. What it does is, for example, you will pick a deity whose name you will scribe on the ring, and if your friend, let's say, has the same deity, you'll be able to get matched up with your friend a lot easier than you would otherwise. And there's also a ring that will enable the voice chat in the game during the co-op session. So for example, if you and anybody want to talk as you're going through the game, both of you will need to equip this ring. And to me, the reason why there are 4 ring slots is to balance out this from the point of gameplay. So for example, if you want to talk to your buddy, you need to give up 1 ring slot. If you want to summon your buddy, you need to give up 1 ring slot. So basically, you will give up 2 ring slots to play and talk to your friends, which kind of balances out the whole point of it. I know some of you guys are not crazy about there being voice chat in the game, but I believe, with the ability to voice chat occupying a ring slot, it actually balances it out. So I don't really see a problem with that. Plus, it'll be a lot more convenient than, let's say, using Skype as you're playing. So that's a plus. As far as weapons go, there will be a Great Scythe making a comeback. There will also be an equivalent of a Moonlight Greatsword. And supposedly the description gives a little bit of a nod to Dark Souls and Seath the White Dragon. Speaking of dragons, it seems like the dragon upgrade path is back, along with a bleeding upgrade path from Demon Souls. So to anybody who's used those, I guess that would be plus. Dragon upgrade path is similar to the Fire and Chaos upgrade paths, and bleeding upgrade path adds bleeding damage to your weapon. Now, there will be a unique item that also will make an appearance. It's called Soul Vessel, and supposedly this item will allow you to redistribute your souls. So apparently you'll be able to de-level yourself and then redistribute the souls however you want them. So let's use Dark Souls as an example. Let's say you spent 10 points in resistance early in the game when you first got it, and once you realize that resistance is useless, instead of having those 10 points wasted, you'll be able to take them off and redistribute them to different stats however you'd like them to. So another thing about the gameplay that I thought was very unique, some of you might know this, in Dark Souls originally, the director wanted Black Knight enemies to be random throughout the game's world, so they would just randomly appear in different territories, and they would hunt down the player, and they would not be set to a particular location like they ended up being in the final build of the game. In this game, there will be a unique enemy called the Pursuer, which supposedly will stalk the player throughout the game, and it will appear in random locations at random. So now be one of the things that will keep you on your toes. And from what I've heard from everybody who's played the game so far, it's very hard. A lot of people are saying that it's harder than Demon Souls and it's harder than Dark Souls. Apparently, it's a lot harder to level up in this game. The enemies don't give out that many souls, and it's more expensive to level up in Dark Souls 2 than it was in Dark Souls. And the items and weapons are a lot harder to buy too. and I don't know if it's just for that, if it just was the build for that particular event, or if it's going to be something that will continue throughout the game. So that will be interesting to pay attention to. As far as the multiplayer portion of the game, there will be an option to set matchmaking to regional, which will help out with the connection, and there will be also invasion priority. For example, players with higher sin will have the highest priority, and the way that sin accumulates in this game is that now, after each successful invasion, you will be indicted. Instead of having a player choose whether or not he or she wants to indict you, now you'll be automatically indicted, and that will count towards your overall sin level. After the players with more sin, the priority will be for co-op players. After that, there will be players who are in human form, and players in hollow form would be last. So if you're hollow, your invasion priority will not be that high, and let's say if you're an active PvPer, or if you're active invader, you will have a very high invasion priority. Also, if you do invade a lot and you have a lot of sin, your overall HP can go below 50%. Now, some of you might know this. If you keep dying, then every time you die, your health will go down, and at the maximum, I believe your health can go down to 50%. Now, if you also invade and die, your health can go down to 10%. So that's a big penalty, and I guess that this way they're trying to balance it out, because I know some of you will hate this, but let's face it, most of the invaders in the Dark Souls and Demon Souls were more experienced players who are usually better than the players, especially early on. Most of the times as an invader, and especially early on during the game's lifespan, those are the players that have a little bit more time with the game, and they're feeling a little bit more comfortable with the environments, the weapons. They're a little bit more knowledgeable. So I guess that's the creator's way of balancing the game out and encouraging the casual players to proceed with the game, so to speak. Also, the matchmaking will take into account hours played. So, for example, if you've beaten the game at a very low soul level, like I know some people have beaten, Dark Souls at soul level 1, and once you get a hang of the game, it's very easy to do. For example, I had a soul level 1 build that I've beaten all the bosses with, and I was basically at the final stage of the game. However, I did not beat the Taurus Demon, so I specifically could invade players at the Undead Burg. I had all the pyromancies, all the good armor, and all that jazz. So now it will take into account the hours played. So, for example, if you've played 20 hours on that character, you will not be able to invade somebody who just started the game. So supposedly that's how it will work. The arena area of the game will be bagged, so there will be a dedicated arena for PvP. Supposedly it will allow Red Phantoms to fight against Red Phantoms and Blue Phantoms to fight against Blue Phantoms. Now, the Red Phantoms, as some of you know, are the Brotherhood of Blood. That's a new Darkgrave Covenant equivalent, and the Blues are the Guardians of the Blue, which is sort of like the game's equivalent of the Darkmoon Covenant. Some of the other covenants in this game that have been confirmed are supposed to be the Covenant of Champions, which is the new version of Gravelord Covenant, except now this covenant makes your own world harder, so you basically will be Gravelording yourself, and there's also apparently a ring that will help with increasing the difficulty of your own game. So now instead of Gravelording somebody else's world, you'll be Gravelording your own world. So be interesting to troll some of those players looking to co-op and to create a challenge for yourself. I know once you beat the game a few times, you'll be looking for more challenges, and that'll be one of the ways to do so. There will be a Sunlight Warrior Covenant as well, and there will be a Protector Covenant, which is kind of I mean, like, there will be like an equivalent of the Forest Hunter Covenant, where you'll be defending an area and will be getting summoned once a player shows up there in human form. And there will also be a Duelist Covenant as well, which will be a covenant specifically made for duels. Now, some of the other things that I want to mention were the stats. Now, there have been some changes to the stats since the beta. Resistance and agility have been combined into one stat, which is now adaptability, which will govern over the mobility and the defense ratings of the player. The other stats basically remained unchanged. So you still have Vigor, which increases overall health, and I don't know how useful that will be, because from what I heard is that all stats increase HP in some form. So the other stats are Endurance, which increases stamina, Vitality, which increases equip load, Attunement, which will increase spell slots and casting speed of said spells, Strength, which will increase weapon scaling and guard break damage, and Dexterity, which will increase the scaling for the weapons, the scale of Dexterity, as well as poison and bleed damage. Intelligence will increase magic and fire spells and defense, and also increase the scaling for for magic weapons. And same thing with Faith, except Faith governs over Dark Element, which are hexes in this game, and lightning damage. So hope this helps. Let me know what you guys think about Dark Souls 2 so far. From what I heard, this game is far superior to Dark Souls and Demon Souls. Everybody who's played it seems to be very happy about it. There are no complaints about them nerfing the difficulty yet. In fact, most of the people who played it say that the difficulty is actually superior to the difficulty of Dark Souls and Demon Souls, and which is what I'm excited about. I'm really looking for the challenge. I'll be doing a walkthrough, I'll be doing a platinum guide for the game, I'll also be doing some PvP videos, weapon guide videos, and basically anything else that you guys might suggest. Let me guys know what you think so far about Dark Souls 2 and the information that has come out. I want to thank Growshroom and SteamyPunk on GameFAQs.com for collecting all this information from different videos and basically sharing it with people. I haven't had the time to look through, basically hours and hours of footage that different people have put out on YouTube about Dark Souls 2 so far, and those guys have been able to summarize it pretty nicely. So let me guys know if you guys have any more questions, and let me know what you guys think about Dark Souls 2. Let me know if you think it will be better than Dark Souls, worse than Dark Souls. What are your questions about it? Were you excited about it? Thanks for watching, and have a great night, guys.